Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another Steelers offseason edition of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Stella, here with Jay Dash. The Pittsburgh Steelers season ended with a loss to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. A week later or so, we hear Ben Roethlisberger start hinting, at a possible retirement, saying he needs to evaluate everything in the offseason, evaluate his life, his body, just his family away from the game, things of that nature. Do you really believe Big Ben is going to retire, considering he'd have to give up somewhere around $16 million to be able to do it? Or do you believe what I believe, and it was kind of, hey, a wake-up call really to the organization? We need to get this shit straight because I only got a few years left.
Well, at first I heard it was $18 million he'd have to give back. Then someone told me it was $17 million. Now you're saying $16 million. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's a rough guess. I don't know exactly the number. I've seen anywhere from 12 to 18.
Yeah, by the time the season rolls around, it might be $0 million and he could just retire. But even after this year, I think he has to give back $12 million or something like that if he wanted to retire after this next season, and then $6 million after the season after that. So I think he's going to be sticking around here for a couple more years. And I think it's all about who do you surround yourself with, and I don't think he likes some of these players on his team and how they act.
Is it more, you think, the players surrounding him or the offensive system that he's been stuck in? Because we know him and Todd Haley did not get along the first year or two that they were there, especially the first year that Haley was there. So is Big Ben trying to pull for more say in the offense, or is it the players? Because, he's criticized these guys openly. He said, some of the younger guys didn't quite know what kind of stage they were on. He said that AB needs to get his attitude changed a little bit, not straight up calling him out and calling him Terrell Owens or anything, but telling him to tone it down a little bit.
Andy said something about Todd Haley as well, saying about him running the calls. It's his call or whatever. I just run the plays he calls. So he's kind of putting the play calling on Todd Haley.
Yeah, and down that stretch, we kept talking about it. They were playing winning football, but they were running. Ben really wasn't throwing. I don't think he likes that at this stage of his career. I'm not saying he doesn't like winning, and I'm not saying he's being AB, and I'm not even really criticizing AB for wanting the football. But I think that Roethlisberger wants the kind of say in his offense that Tom Brady has, that Drew Brees has, that Eli Manning has. He's earned the right to be taken as serious as those guys, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think it has to do with the players too, though. It's a combination of both. I think he wants Antonio Brown to grow up a little bit, and he wants Le'Veon Bell to play every game.
And I think it has a little bit to do with Martavis Bryant also. He said something about him after the first suspension, not even this year-long suspension. He said he needs to grow up and understand what he really has at hand and how good he can really be. And I think Ben kind of sees, what he has in AB, what he has in Martavis, in Le'Veon Bell, and what they could be doing on paper with those four guys starting every week. And we know it hasn't happened yet. They should score 30 points a freaking game. Why is it not even coming close? Tom Brady has done it with way lesser guys on offense. So it's either the play calling, the players, or a mixture of both just not gelling the right way. Something is up. These guys should be dominating on the field, and they always seem to come up short when they really shouldn't. Honestly, they never should, but it's always at the biggest moments. And now Roethlisberger is not out of the woods himself. His home-to-road passer rating since 2014 is the biggest differential in the league. At home, he has a 111.5. That's the number one passer rating at home since 2014. On the road, he has an 85.1. That's number 21. Compared to a guy, Tom Brady, who people like to compare Ben to, Brady has a 105 at home and a 101.6 on the road. Now, Brady is the only guy above 100 on the road. But you have other guys like Andrew Luck, 94.3 at home, 89.9 on the road. Drew Brees, 104.4 at home, 94.9 on the road. Why is Ben Roethlisberger so much worse on the road? Is it him or is it his play calling?
Both, and the entire team. The Pittsburgh Steelers are just not good on the road, man. Even Landry Jones showed some promise at home, but on the road he just looked horrible. It's something about the entire organization on the road. They just do not play well, and it starts with the play calling with Todd Haley and with Big Ben.
Now, we both lived through the entire Bill Cowher era. Do you feel like the team did the same thing under Cowher, or do you think this has been a recent trend under Tomlin?
I can't remember it being that bad under Cowher. I didn't complain about it like I do with Tomlin, but I also don't remember exactly if it was like that. It doesn't seem like it was that bad. Although I remember some bad losses in the Cowher era. That's the thing that sticks out to me from the Cowher era. Just terrible play calling in the end, just terrible game management in the end.
Bad playoff
some terrible
losses in
losses.
the Bill Cowher
Yes.
era too.
Yes.
So what do you think this offense needs to do to get to where they need to be? Do you think they should fire Todd Haley and promote somebody from within so that Roethlisberger will kind of have more say in it? Or do you think they go outside the organization, bring somebody in and force Roethlisberger into it like they did with Haley? Or do you think they just stand pat and kind of just maybe, behind the scenes say, okay, let Ben have a little bit more play calling duties?
Well, I thought he already did. I thought that they said this before last season and the season
they
before.
have. It just didn't seem like, where was the no huddle all year that they were supposed to be using? They talked about it all off season, how they were going to go up tempo and really be able to take advantage of teams substitution wise. And it really was never there. We never seen that style of offense.
And there's a lot of guys we heard about over the past few years since Haley's been in that they drafted or brought in that's supposed to be a big part of the offense, and they never really do anything too, So I just think Todd Haley sees something when they're not playing games. He has this nice game plan in his mind, but when he gets into the games, everything's just a little bit too fast, and he doesn't get to what he really wants to do ever, and it just never works out. So I don't know. I'd talk to Big Ben, see what he wants to do about it. It doesn't seem like he wants Todd Haley. I thought things were getting better between him, and Big Ben had a lot of the duties of the play calling. But it doesn't seem like that's what's going on right now. So I'd just talk to Big Ben and see if he wants to look outside the organization, or if there's someone within the organization that he likes and that he would trust to take over at offensive coordinator. And obviously, Tomlin and the top brass got to approve of it as well.
I think what you just said about a minute ago, too, is one of the biggest reasons. Guys that they've brought in just really haven't panned out, even if it's long term. Lima Swede was supposed to be great. He couldn't catch anything. Sammy Coates was supposed to be good. He can't catch anything. Marcus Wheaton was supposed to be good. He's serviceable.
Dree
you got
Archer.
Ladarius Green. He's had the injury issues.
Remember Dree Archer's role in the offense?
Yeah, he was supposed to be the next Dante Hall or, all these crazy, like Tyreek Hill, type players.
Dexter McCluster.
Yeah, it really... It's like like you said, they got these shiny goggles on. They see these guys in their workouts and in their combine, and they're like, oh, yeah, let's get this guy. And then they do nothing. And Martavis Bryant, he's been great. Something like 21 touchdowns or something in 20 games. But the guy, he can't stay on the field because of marijuana. So, I think it could be leaning more towards the players and the play calling, but I think the play calling has a major, major implication on Roethlisberger's statements. And again, neither one of us believe Roethlisberger is going to retire.
No, definitely not. I think he's going to run out his contract, though. Probably 3 more years, and then he might hang him up.
I agree. I think, if anything, he might retire with the last year in the deal, depending on the team. If we would go and win the next 2 Super Bowls, I think he makes one more run because he wants more than Terry Bradshaw.
It'd be nice to end on 2 Super Bowls, though,
It would, but I think if he had a good enough team and, they could chase 3 in a row, which, again, this isn't going to happen. Teams haven't won back-to-back Super Bowls in a while. I think that he might go for it. But I think to expect 1 Super Bowl appearance out of the next 3 years isn't asking too much out of this team right now. And I think Big Ben knows it, and he really wants to get to 3 because I think at 2, there's still a question, is he one of the greatest of all time? At 3 Super Bowls, there's no more questions.
Yeah, I think what they can do on the field offensively is get that second receiver. Hopefully it's Martavis Bryant. I think that would be a huge addition, and figure out your tight end situation. Is it going to be Ladarius Green, or if not, that's when you want to think about drafting a tight end if it's not going to be Ladarius Green. And outside of that, maybe, I mean, D'Angelo wasn't healthy pretty much all season. I think you need to find a back that you can mix in with Le'Veon Bell during the season and give him a little bit of a break. I think he got run down late in the season there. Obviously, he got hurt, and they just took him out of the game. Like you said, you thought he could go back in and maybe do something, and he never came in after, one play he came back in for, I think.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think you got to back off Le'Veon a little bit, or else you're not going to want to sign this guy to a long-term contract.
What about a power back for a change of pace back? Wouldn't it be nice to add a short yardage guy? We struggle in short yardage situations, especially in the red zone. And Le'Veon, I mean, we've talked about it. He's a start, stop, cut, move guy. He's not a guy who just gets the ball, runs straight ahead, and gets 2-3 yards every time. So it would be nice to have a guy who can do that to complement Le'Veon's skill.
I tell you what, too, if you could bring in a beast power back and have a nice combo with Le'Veon Bell, I'd play the power back early in the game, wear down that defense, and then put Le'Veon Bell in. You'll see him run all over the place.
I mean, honestly, and this is an if, but if you have AB, Martavis Bryant, and Eli Rogers at your top 3 spots at wide receiver, and then Le'Veon Bell, a healthy Ladarius Green, and Jesse James as your tight ends, I mean, come on. Ladarius Green, Jesse James, healthy combo, that's got to be one of the better 1-2 combos at tight end in the league, and we all know what Le'Veon can do.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Ladarius Green and those concussions. I think his career may be coming to an end sooner than we think. But, again, with the power back, how about James Conner?
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a nice addition.
I'd take him. That'd be beast, man. That's who I want.
The reason I'm still not going to count out Ladarius Green is, being a huge hockey fan from Pittsburgh, I've seen Sidney Crosby struggle for 2-3 straight years with concussions. People said he was done, that he was a terrible hockey player compared to what he was.
I think he also took a lot of time off, though, too, didn't he?
I mean, he had to because he couldn't play. But Crosby's right at the top of the league in scoring again this year and has solidified himself as the best player in the world again over the past few seasons. So I'm going to give Ladarius Green the benefit of the doubt until it's, final that he will not be back. I like the kid too, and I hope good things for him.
You're a sweet guy.
But that's all I got. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the retirement. Other than that,
yeah, he's not going to retire. He'll be back.
Yeah, please believe.
Although, if he retires, how about Tony Romo?
No, come on. I've seen so much of that on Facebook especially. And then there are people like, no, we're really getting Tony Romo? I can't believe it. How stupid are you people? Quit believing everything you see on Facebook.
Yeah, everybody knows the truth is you want Zach Mettenberger.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the guy I want to start for me, a guy who's never won a football game in his career.
All right, so who would you go with? Let's say Ben retired, and then you can wrap this segment up.
If Ben retires, you sign Landry Jones, you give him 1 year. He sucks.
Oh, my God.
Listen, you give him 1 year.
Your idea is worse than all of them, dude.
I know, but you're not going to – listen, if you bring in Tony Romo, you're going to barely make the playoffs and then screw yourself out of a good draft. You just got to go bite the bullet, throw Landry in, tank the season, and get a high draft pick for a quarterback.
See, here's what I do. I'm not saying Tony Romo, but I go out and sign a quarterback that can get you to the playoffs, and I draft a quarterback as well. I don't think there's one out there that they want to draft.
But that's the scary thing. Yeah, I mean, especially right now at 30, and you're not even going to get.
And what do you
I know
mean
there
at 30?
are guys out there to get. It's happened. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Oh yeah, Drew Brees. Yeah.
Outside of the top 15 picks, to find a franchise quarterback is tough. So I would probably just go with Landry for one. I think they're going to sign Landry again for the backup.
Well, that's possible. But if Ben retired, I would be looking elsewhere.
Colin Kaepernick or Landry Jones?
Well, Landry Jones because he's just not a giant douchebag that I hate. But talent-wise, I'd probably go with Kaepernick, man.
Matt Moore or Landry Jones?
Matt Moore.
Do you take him for a spot starter for a year?
Absolute. Well, I mean, that's not my first choice, but over Landry Jones, yeah.
All right. I'll give you Matt Moore.
Is he available?
I think he was only on a 1-year deal with Miami, or his deal might be up with Miami. He's bounced around the last couple of years.
How about Ryan Tannehill?
I would definitely take Tannehill over Landry Jones.
But you also got to think you're probably going to be with that guy for 4 or 5 years.
Tannehill?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you sign him, he's going to want a real contract, not somebody who's going to take a 1-year prove-it deal.
Right.
But yeah, for some reason, Ben does retire. It doesn't matter who we bring in, we're going to suck. So.
Well, maybe on the road they'll be just as good.
Yeah, probably. The offense can't get much worse on the road, right?
Believe it.
Fans, questions or comments, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Find all of our episodes at youtube.com/betthespread. Live, love the spread. Everybody doing it.